We fixing to make this town real smoking.
If you've been watching the channel over the past 2 weeks, you're well aware of the hole that Tekken 8 finds itself in. Some of the most recent frustrations from the players, you have this one from Joker that says, I should have listened to him, and it's Arsenal and Ash texting his phone telling him to bro, stop playing Tekken and start enjoying life. Now you have this tweet here as well that shows a local event that went back to playing Tekken 7 instead of Tekken 8. Tekken 7 is playing on all 4 of those bad boys. I think this tweet here sums it up all nicely. Day 9 of Tekken 8 Season 2, by the time you see this video, will probably be day 10 or 11, maybe even 12. Game is still weird. Harada's still MIA. Murray still hates everybody. Everybody hates the word boycott still. Cheaters still cheating. People who don't play Tekken 8 feel the need to tell everyone every 5 seconds. You have another story on X giving us summary to all of the chaos. I won't read this whole thing, but the top part says Tekken 8 Season 2 update sparks wide discontent amongst players. Now you guys all know what the players want. You know why they're upset. The players feel lied to. We're still waiting for the developers to respond, like a true response, you know, also a time frame on emergency patch. And also I want to know if there's going to be anything else inside of that emergency patch, because throw break chip damage being removed, pause issue being fixed, and jack clap being nerfed, that really isn't enough. You know, this update is crazy, but then also they can't tackle everything in this update. Now when you talk about the actual new news, you have this one here. This is the official EVO Japan numbers. This is how many people entered the tournament. In total, it's 8,648 players. But what you would quickly notice is that Street Fighter makes up the majority of that. All of the other games combined do not come close to Street Fighter. 6,536 players. Tekken 8 is at 960 players. Just that disparity alone has a lot of players saying, wow, Tekken 8 needs to do better. But I think it's more than just that. We'll get to it in a second. But you can also see Guilty Gear Strive is at 676, Grand Blue is at 474, and then KOF is at 286. What I want to do is compare it to the previous year. This is 2024. What you would know about these numbers is that Street Fighter is at 4,851. This year it jumped up 2,000 more players roughly, and Tekken 8 was at 1,216. So even when Tekken 8 just released, it did not touch Street Fighter at all. And this is kind of what Harada is noticing, and this is what he is after. For some reason, Street Fighter is just freakishly popular in Japan. And to show you what I mean, here is an image from a news article that is very, very recent. And you can see the news article is just highlighting how in Japan, they are starting to put up statues celebrating Street Fighter. Like you have here, I believe this is some kind of train, but they have a Street Fighter 6 Ryu design on it. For whatever reason, Japan loves Street Fighter, and when Harada is trying to cater to Japan and he's talking about Japan, he advertised Tekken Bloodline very hard in Japan. When he talk about diving into that demographic, this is why, because Street Fighter successfully did it, and their numbers is just massive because of it. With that aside, Tekken 8 did go down 300 players. 1,216 in 2024. 2025 they're at 900. Now what you also got to note as well, if you go even further back and you talk about Tekken 7, look at Street Fighter 5, 1,797. The leap there is crazy. This is 2023 we're looking at. But then you can see Tekken 7, so close, 1,400. Guilty Gear Strive is at 1,385. Now, the final thing that I'll say about this is EVO Japan is different from EVO Vegas. Last year for EVO Vegas 2024, Tekken 8 pulled in 4,646 players. Street Fighter pulled in 5,200. So it's still more, but that gap shrinked a lot. This time around at EVO, we will be able to see whether or not all of the trash stuff happening with Season 2 will affect the numbers and impact the numbers in a major way. And they have some time to get there. I don't know if they can deliver a better balanced game before then, but they have time. Now we have a little bit of information about the DLC. This comes from Konhei on Twitter. Tekken's new season pass on Steam tells you roughly when characters are releasing. Character 6 and Stage 3 is from July to September 2025. Character 7 is October to December 2025. And then Character 8 and Stage 4 is October to December 2025. Here's the picture here as well, but basically we can expect and we can assume this roughly the same time frame as Season 1. Unless something crazy happens, then they'll probably switch around the dates. I do think they probably should focus on the one after EVO Japan, because I remember players seeing Lydia but then had to wait so long for her, and they were very upset waiting that long for her. So they probably should try to figure out something to do there to make the wait more smooth, especially if Season 2 is going to be chaotic. That will kill the game, right? But then also what I want to talk about is the conversation surrounding Tekken 9 and 2027 and also PlayStation 6. This was sparked by Akuma, who says rumors of Tekken 9 coming in 2027 are making more sense. Maybe the people who know how to make a Tekken game are working on that one instead. You got to remember that the PlayStation 6 is likely to release holiday 2027, and players are trying to figure out, is this too close or too far? Now, when you talk about for Tekken 8 and Tekken 9, Harada wants Tekken 9 to release immediately and be a launch title for the PlayStation 6, but he fears it will release too soon. Now, holiday 2027 would give Tekken 8 4 seasons of content, just like Tekken 7. Now, the thing about that fourth season is that fourth season would basically lead up and collide with the release of Tekken 9. So really, they would probably do 3 seasons, but just looking at how tight this gap is, they probably won't do it. If the PlayStation 6 releases in 2027, Tekken 9 will probably be a year or two after that. Something that I was thinking about is how many seasons they were greenlit. Because if you think about what Harada said for Tekken 7, he said that 2 seasons was guaranteed. Season 1, Season 2. Everything after that was just given because of the game was so successful, right? And that's also when we saw a lot of experimentation. Right? But when you talk about Tekken 8, set up to be this big game for Bandai Namco, they would have had a better blueprint going further in the future than they did with Tekken 7. And with that being the case, you have to wonder how many seasons was guaranteed from the start. Definitely 2 seasons, right? There was traces of Season 2 and the code and whatnot, right? That's why we got leaks and whatnot. But when you talk about, is a Season 3 confirmed? Is a Season 4 already guaranteed? Only time will tell, but I think that definitely will play into how quickly they will get into a Tekken 9. For Harada and Michael Murray, they said that Tekken 9 will most likely be their last game. Now, if Tekken 8 keeps going the way that's going, Tekken 8 might be their last game. Something else that I thought was interesting and should be noted is this post made from Tekken Warehouse. They added these glow textures for character icons, maybe Ghost versus Ghost, but why are unplayable characters like Azazel there? So this is a weird thing that happened with the Season 2 update where they're featuring a lot of these glow panels. And then they also have this one here where you can see the characters in their full texture. There's a lot of things that's in the files of the games and we currently have no information on. Like there was code in the files describing some form of uploading your customization, but then also being able to download your customization. That code gave the players the idea that at some point in time we will be able to upload outfits and copy outfits, because that's what players try to do already. So as for the code, maybe they're doing something like that. Maybe it's been delayed. I don't know. I thought Season 2 would bring it. We also didn't get a roadmap for Season 2. That's something that we got for Season 1. Maybe EVO Japan will get that. I don't know. But then this thing here that we're looking at, I have no clue what it is. And I am very interested to figure out why Azazel is there. And when you look at this other image, why is Smoke Kazuya there? Why is this glowing red Heihachi there? I don't know the name of it. But then they also have normal Heihachi and story Heihachi. Like, what is this? The final thing, though, is this moment that happened before Season 2 went live. You had a viral moment where a Tekken player showed up with a dog on his back and it went viral. Harada responded to this and says, I'll add it to the customization items in the game. Whether or not this was just a joke by Harada, whether or not this plan has been scrapped by Season 2 being chaotic, only time will tell.
Oh my god, the Shibu!
This is right now an unfair advantage because we got one coach on sight data and another coach on smell data.
Oh man. Okay, so that's my homie I Got a Jet. He plays Leroy.